Welcome to Sergeant Dorsey Speaks on Instagram TV. If you haven't already liked and started to follow Sergeant Dorsey Speaks YouTube channel, please do so, tell a friend, and subscribe to my podcast, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks. Let's get to it. Today I'm in Vallejo, California with the families of Willie McCoy, Ronell Foster, Angel Ramos, and Eric Reason. From 3 to 6 p.m. there will be a news conference followed by a candlelight vigil held at 974 Admiral Callahan Lane. The reason Ronell Foster is back in the news is because the Solano County District Attorney decided to clear the officer, whose name is Ryan McMahon, of any wrongdoing in the fatal shooting of Ronell Foster. And so we will be demanding accountability not only in the case of Ronell Foster, but also in the case of Willie McCoy, which is also continuing. I'm going to share with you a couple of video clips of the Ronell Foster shooting. The first one is going to be at its regular speed, and then it'll be followed by a slow motion video. Now there's going to be some narration. It's dark. This all started because Ronell Foster allegedly was riding a bicycle at nighttime, I think without lights and maybe even without a helmet. That's the reason given by Officer Ryan McMahon for initially encountering, detaining, wanting to have a conversation with Ronell Foster. And listen, as with everything that I say, please do your own due diligence. There are plenty of articles, some of which even show the path in which Ryan McMahon followed Ronell Foster before the deadly police shooting. You'll also see in the video that Ronell Foster allegedly grabbed for the officer's flashlight, according to McMahon, and that was the reason that he feared for his life and shot Ronell Foster 7 times. Problem is, Officer Ryan McMahon did not activate his body-worn camera until after the 7 shots were fired. And so the question that begs to be asked is, why? Let's take a look at the clips.
Vallejo 3.1. Shots fired, 415 Carolina Street. Hey, I got one suspect down.
Now that happened pretty quick, so I'm going to show you a slow motion version of that same incident. And remember, according to Officer McMahon, he stopped Ronell Foster because he wanted to teach him a lesson. He wanted to have a few words with him about riding his bike without lights. All of this because a black man was riding his bicycle without a light. Here we go. Now remember, this all got started because Ryan McMahon wanted to educate Ronell Foster. He wanted to teach him a lesson in the error of his ways, and that seems to be pretty standard operating procedure for officers on the Vallejo Police Department. Let's watch what happens when another officer, David McLaughlin, you've heard that name before, stops a gentleman in the driveway of Adrian Burrell. Adrian Burrell is the cousin of the young man on the motorcycle. Adrian Burrell is trying to video what's going on with his cousin. He's about to get a lesson. Let's watch.
Jessica, we're told the Vallejo police chief just learned about the incident yesterday after the Marine vet posted that video on social media. He immediately ordered an expeditious internal investigation.
The energy or the vibe that I was getting from him was that I'm trying to teach you a lesson. Like, I'm going to hurt you right now so that you know better.
That's how 28-year-old Adrian Burrell describes the Vallejo police officer, who he says manhandled him for no reason. Burrell says it all started when he began taking cell phone video from his front porch as the officer pulled over his cousin for a traffic stop with his gun drawn.
Something just didn't feel right. And so I just took out my phone and I started to film instead.
Get back.
No.
Get back.
But the officer's attention quickly moved from Burrell's cousin to him.
You're interfering with me, my man?
I'm not resisting. Put me on the ground.
If you keep fighting me, I will.
I'm not fighting you.
He slammed my face against the wall when he was handcuffing me. And then when he spun me around, he swung my body in and knocked my head against that pole.
Burrell says the officer detained him in his car for 45 minutes before releasing him without citing him. Tonight, Vallejo police have launched an internal affairs investigation and are urging the public to be patient.
Don't rush to judgment. The Vallejo Police Department, as well as most police departments in this country, are very concerned about transparency and gaining the public trust. And if there is a problem, it will be addressed.
Tonight, we've learned that same officer was named in a civil rights claim against the city of Vallejo in 2014. The claim alleges Officer David McLaughlin and his partner pulled over an innocent black man at gunpoint, subjecting him to excessive force and assault. The claim was later dismissed because the plaintiff passed away. But Burrell says he's troubled by what he says appears to be a pattern.
We need to have some type of accountability.
Lieutenant says there will be an expeditious investigation. We'll see. Officer McMahon lives to offend again. They've got a new police chief there, Brother Man, Shawnee Williams. We'll see exactly how this thing is finally adjudicated. Because listen, if I kill you, there's only one version to tell.